Hello and welcome to another edition of Bangladesh Today. Former Prime Minister and Chief of the main opposition party, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, Khaleda Zia, recently visited India and met with the top leadership. Known for her anti-India leaning in the past, she was in India after a gap of 6 years. Khaleda Zia seems to have assured the Indian leadership about cooperating on combating terrorism, and for the first time committing that if she were to win the general elections to be held next year, her administration would not allow Bangladeshi soil to be used for anti-India activities. Khaleda Zia assured Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh that she would not allow the use of Bangladeshi territory for any act directed against India. Mrs. Zia told Dr. Singh that she wanted a new era in bilateral relations, and the two leaders agreed to cooperate to combat terrorism. According to sources, both the leaders felt that terrorism is of great concern and agreed to continue cooperation on terrorism and tackle insurgent groups. Discussions were also held on border management and deaths on the border.
Her politics is with those groups, and she led the whole rightist group alliance. So, its track record says that during her rule, the fundamental groups took a better position. They come up with force, with power, with muscles. This is the thing. So, it is not good for the country, it is not good for the region as well. So, anti-Indian, again you have mentioned the anti-Indian role, the essence of her politics from early 90s to till now is anti-Indian role, anti-Indian sentiment using that. So, it is not nowadays the anti-Indian politics or anti-Indian policy is not very much affected or fruitful. So, the time changes, years changes.
The Bangladesh government led by Khaleda Zia did not take any concrete action. It was only merely lip service. Today probably her party and she finds herself in a corner, and she also finds there is a realization in the Bangladesh National Party, a nationalist party and Khaleda Zia, that they need good ties with India, and anti-India slogan does not help. There is a realization, and because though that card is not selling anymore in Bangladesh, the anti-India card, because the amount of work that India has undertaken in Bangladesh, there is a positive feeling obviously, and certain commitments remained unfinished due to political compulsion, domestic political compulsions in India, but still there has been a lot of development projects, and BNP feels that they can't go on an anti-India vitriolic campaign. So there is a realization that they need to cooperate, they need to reach out to India, they need to address India's concerns.
The Awami League government led by Sheikh Hasina Wajib has come down hard on terror elements in Bangladesh and reined in anti-India insurgent groups operating from within its territory. It has even deported key separatists to India, whereas the anti-India groups flourished during Zia's tenure as Prime Minister. Despite the clampdown by Hasina government, Indian insurgent groups continue to misuse Bangladeshi territory for sanctuary, training camps, transport of arms and transit. Some of the top Indian militants actively involved in northeast India have been operating from Bangladesh. They belong to the United Liberation Front of Assam, ULFA, National Democratic Front of Bodoland, NDFB, the National Liberation Front of Tripura, NLFT, All Tripura Tiger Force, ATTF, United National Liberation Front, UNLF, the People's Liberation Army, PLA, the National Liberation Front of Tripura, NLFT, and the Kanle Yawol Kannaluk, KYKL. The ULFA is also said to be a constituent of the Bangladesh Islamic Manch, a united council under Harkatul Jihad-e-Islam's leadership. Inter-regional linkages of these groups could further worsen the internal security situation in India.
The fundamentalist and the reactionary groups are there in Bangladesh. They were powerful once upon a time. Now, in recent years, the groups are being controlled. Some their misdeeds are being taken into account. Government showed zero tolerance on these groups. So, they are not in good shape, but we cannot assure that they are eliminated. Still, they are in action, in silently or in behind, in disguising themselves.
The alignment between fundamentalist forces inimical to India and Khaleda Zia had conventionally made India jittery and apprehensive about forging close ties with the BNP. Links between Khaleda Zia and Pakistan's spy agency ISI are well established and are in public domain. Former ISI chief Asad Durrani, during a Pakistan Supreme Court hearing recently, admitted to meddling in India's northeast and funding the right-wing Bangladesh Nationalist Party during the 1991 general elections. The Indian government has accused Pakistan's ISI of using Bangladesh to carry out anti-India operations. Bangladeshi terror outfit Huji enjoys close links with Pakistani tanzeems. Many of the ISI-sponsored perpetrators of terror attacks in India had either infiltrated through Bangladesh or escaped to the neighboring country after the strikes.
After returning from Delhi, how she works in future, because in her alliance, she is under her leadership, Jamaat Islami is a major party shareholder of her alliance. They are in power 2001 to 2006, some other Islamic groups, and these groups are linked with militancy and terrorism acts, no doubt it's proved here. So, anti-Indian sentiment and banking, depending on the rightist group, how she will continue her politics, this is to be seen. And nowadays she has come up with a impression that she should come out of this impression. If she voted to power, she has to maintain good relation with neighbors, especially India.
There are many other instances of ISI's links with Bangladesh. ISI footing the election bill of Khaleda Zia in 1991, a revelation made by none other than former ISI chief Asad Durrani. NSCN's cadres travelling to Pakistan from Dhaka in March 1996 for training in guerrilla warfare. An ISI-sponsored technical expert training Ulfa in operation and installation of communication equipment at a Nagaland camp. Detaining of NSCN IM chief T. Muiva at Bangkok airport in January 2000 while returning from Karachi after allegedly inspecting an arms consignment. And the revelation of arrested All Tripura Tiger Force ATTF cadre that ISI had extended $20,000 assistance to the outfit besides imparting arms training to 8 ATTF cadres in 1997 at Kandahar, Afghanistan.
There is an impression in Bangladesh that while BNP or Begum Khaleda in power, relation with Pakistan comes up with a bigger stake, higher stage. There is an impression, it's natural. And if she is right now, of course, she is a good ally of Pakistan, she has good relation with Pakistan, and she wants that such relation should be maintained with India also. This is her impression. And you mentioned about the other agencies. Agencies' actions can be taken by agencies. I cannot speculate or I cannot express, I cannot state about their actions. Right. You understand. So, insurgency or terrorism acts, they are which are originated from Pakistan or Afghanistan. You know, Bangladesh is under big threat from the militants group, Afghan or Pakistani militants groups. And all these happenings in arms hall or series bomb, these are linked with Pakistani or Afghanistani militants group.
During her recent India visit, for the first time, Zia acknowledged the contribution made by India in Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971 and pointed to the fact that her late husband Ziaur Rahman had also taken part in it actively. Zia has also reportedly said that the killing of Bangladeshis by India's border security force along the border will negatively impact the relations if not stopped.
It's a visit to overcome the sense of mistrust, to overcome the misdeeds earlier. It's to misunderstandings remained from BNP side. This is the effort from BNP side that we want to forget all the misunderstandings, mistrusts and everything. We want to build our confidence first that we will work together. This is the effort from their side. And Indian side, since I am staying in Delhi, I am observing all the developments and following everything. Delhi got the words and assurance, and some assurance was given earlier years before. This should come into reality, how they act, how they will delink with the fundamental group, how they will take action against all militant acts or terrorism acts. This is the things. And so, in a word, in a brief, if I want to say, there should be no confusion that all the words taken, told, delivered, this will come into truth.
Strategic experts believe that New Delhi should mend ties with Khaleda Zia's BNP and adopt a bipartisan long-term relationship with Dhaka. Khaleda Zia too seems to have indicated that she is keen to sustain the current momentum in bilateral relations. It remains to be seen if New Delhi can keep the engagement going with both the parties, given the fact that the political divide runs so deep in Bangladesh. Experts believe that Khaleda Zia should be given benefit of doubt on the reassurance that she has given to the Indian leadership despite her track record. The hope is that it could help tone down the anti-India rhetoric of the right wing and the BNP over past decades. Forging better ties with BNP would require a tough balancing act, but could convey the message that India does not tilt only towards the Awami League, but is genuinely interested in strengthening multi-party democratic system in Bangladesh.
It's not a balancing act. It's actually reaching out to all political players and but yeah, you can't say that in a balance, because in a democracy you can't only deal with someone and not ignore other. India being a democracy itself, so it has to engage all political players.
Let's look forward and not look back in the rearview mirror, is what Khaleda Zia has conveyed to the Indian Prime Minister and External Affairs Minister. On the surface, it seems there seems to be a paradigm shift in Khaleda Zia's attitude towards India. She reportedly told the Indian leadership that connectivity between Bangladesh and India is inevitable, and the same must be expanded to include China and Southeast Asia. In the past, BNP had opposed granting transit facility to India to connect with its landlocked northeastern states with the mainland. Taking up the pending Teesta Accord, Khaleda Zia said that clinching an agreement on Teesta will be the first stop before moving towards sharing of water of other common rivers. India's newly appointed Foreign Minister Salman Khurshid assured Khaleda Zia that he will take a personal initiative to talk to all stakeholders, including the West Bengal state, and resolve the Teesta water sharing issue, a deal which could not be signed last September due to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's last-minute opposition.
The Indian government need to move very fast domestically on this, particularly on the land boundary which has been signed, and we need to, for any amendment in India or for exchange of any territory, we need a parliament, we need an amendment in the constitution. I suggest that the Indian Parliament should immediately introduce that bill. The government should introduce that bill immediately in the winter session of Parliament, so that the process kick-starts, so that by middle of next year there is exchange of and that agreement is maintained. And Teesta should also be concluded. The West Bengal government should finalize their recommendation, which it has been also been a year since they set up a committee. So that should present. But I'm a little pessimistic on this, particularly because the Trinamool Congress has delinked itself from the centre, and but the centre needs to reach out through some political emissary.
In a shift of her party stand, BNP chairperson Khaleda Zia for the first time talked about connectivity with India and New Delhi's participation in a consortium with China to build a deep sea port located at Sonadia. Khaleda Zia welcomed the proposal for a consortium including India, China and other countries undertaking the Sonadia deep sea port because of the huge amount of investment needed for it, and said that it will benefit Bangladesh, India, China and Thailand. India has expressed keenness to join the proposed Sonadia deep sea port project and sought details and data about it.
These are the new words she uttered in Delhi in during talks. These are the new words, new phrases we are just listened. But if this is a policy, new policy from her, it's a shift of policy, then you can see that connectivity is such a thing. She mentions always the connectivity should not be bilateral, it should be regional basis, multi-country involved connectivity. So, from earlier position it is a new connectivity is a new issue, transit, transshipment connectivity, which is required for the benefit of economic benefit of the people of whole region. This is new words, and in recent years all the talks, all the bilateral relations took place between Bangladesh and Delhi and Dhaka. She also criticized and opposed all these programs, all these happenings. So, this is new, and we want to see that all the new words should come into actions.
As India tries to reach out to Zia, there is no denying that New Delhi's task of furthering ties with Dhaka has been made more complicated following West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's pullout from the UPA dispensation. Mamata has scuttled the Teesta deal once. She may now try to spike the land boundary agreement. The LBA, which seeks to fully demarcate the India-Bangladesh land border and facilitate the exchange of enclaves, still awaits ratification in the Indian Parliament through a constitutional amendment. Both Teesta and the LBA are significant political issues in Bangladesh. Failure to deliver on either will be perceived as a setback to bilateral ties. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party has traditionally remained a strong opponent of developing any kind of connectivity or transit with India. It's only Awami League's Sheikh Hasina who broke the deadlock in 2008 and decided to go ahead with land and water deals with India. Now Khaleda Zia has also softened her position. As per past trends, polls have led to governments alternating between the Awami League and the BNP. Therefore, a change of government in Bangladesh may not be unexpected. Therefore, New Delhi's renewed engagement with Khaleda Zia is significant. There's an upturn in India-Bangladesh relations ever since Sheikh Hasina Wajid took office in 2008. New Delhi views Hasina as a friend who has delivered on many counts.
Sheikh Hasina's relation with the Indian side is a historic relation from its beginning from 1971, our liberation war. India contributed, India helped us with all-out support, and the water issues and the other border issues, border protocol agreement amendment issues, and the finishing handover of the enclaves, all the issues. India promised, India came with all out that they will do it, and the relationship is in now new era. But reality is that what India is promising, what India is telling to Bangladesh, India should have that sense of responsibility, they should realize all these things. If you think about the water issues you mentioned, the Teesta deal should come into account, it should come into reality. If Delhi fails to, of course, it's their internal problem, but Delhi should come out with all effort that Teesta deal is being done, and rest 51 rivers, common rivers water should be shared, and these things should come into. If India shows its reluctance or inability, that should be that would be a great setback.
In the elections of 2013, if the BNP wins, then the prospect of India working out a broad range of understanding over core issues of India's concern, which include control of anti-India militants in Bangladesh, trade and transit of select items from India through Bangladesh between eastern and northeastern parts of India, and water sharing would be on the table.
See, any government, particularly in a democracy, gather anti-incumbency, right? Whether in India and in particularly in a country like Bangladesh, which is heavily polarized. Actually, politics is heavily polarized. So anyebody who comes to power gets anti-incumbency within 6 months, So, there is an anti-incumbency against Sheikh Hasina, but I think overall Sheikh Hasina government has, for the first time since the creation of Bangladesh, after Mujib's death, for the first time there is a government in Bangladesh which had fulfilled India's demands. While we have fulfilled their expectations, India it has it is also will be naive to actually kind of dump Sheikh Hasina, because this is the only government which acted against India's biggest concern of cross-border terrorism.
The Awami League has accused Khaleda Zia of adopting double standards vis-a-vis India and has termed her visit pointless. Meanwhile, observers see the visit as a fence-mending diplomatic exercise ahead of elections. While relations between India and Bangladesh had witnessed ups and downs, the fact is that bilateral relations have gone through its lowest ebb during 2001 to 2006 when BNP-led four-party right-wing alliance regime was in power. However, despite the bitter past experience, New Delhi seems to be ready for warming up with Zia, keeping in view its strategic calculus. That's all we have for you in Bangladesh Today this week. Thank you for joining us.